Alright, here's another video I'm going to do real quick because I've got, sorry, let me close something down here. I've got my comics, my comic facsimiles came in that I ordered from Golden, I think it's Golden State Comics? What was it called? Golden Apple Comics in Los Angeles. So I've got... grabbed out the box and everything, and I got all the comics that I originally purchased. However, I did get these two. These two came, I didn't do an unboxing of these, but these two came first from another place that I had to order online, and I got them for, I think I got this one for like 50 cents over cover, and I think this was the same, and then like a few dollars for shipping. So I did end up getting Spider-Woman #1 and X-Men 141, which is the beginning of Days of Future Past. So I'm just kind of laying them out here, what I've got so far. Now we're going to unbox this new pack, and I think there's, I don't remember how many you ordered, 6 or 7 of them, I think. I've got almost all of them, of the facsimiles that have been coming out, and not that many DCs though. So most of these are all Marvel. I think there's one DC in here, just like I have one DC in my my other set here. So let's tear this priority mailbox open here, and hopefully they packed it pretty good. And see what see how it came out, or see what we got. Looks, Jesus. Definitely packed it pretty well, to where it's not going to come open. I see there's a big piece of cardboard in here they put on the inside of this to keep it from getting messed up. See the big mailer on the inside, it's just the outside sleeve. So let's crack into it. Oh, there's even a separate... Wow, they really packed this good. A lot of cardboard. I'm still not to the one of those little Russian doll puzzle thingamajabbers. I hope they put them in bags and boards would be nice, but maybe not. Maybe at least bags. Jesus, they were not messing around when they packed this up. It's even got another little priority sleeve on the inside of it. Man. Well, outside of being a pain in the neck, kudos to you guys at Golden Apple. You guys really know how to mail something. You know, for a pack of comic books. So, we're almost there. Got this number. Yeah, you're not messing around. Aha, they are bagged in very good. Not 3 sealable bags, though. Blah, 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 vampires. Anyways, sorry, that was something my son watched on YouTube. Alright, so first up we've got, there it is, Amazing Spider-Man 300 Facsimile. Be interesting to see. That nice Todd McFarlane art with Venom in it. First appearance of Venom, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. We got... oh, I forgot to order this one. It's part of the, I think it's part of the death of Gwen Stacy. We got issue 121 of Amazing Spider-Man. Yep, 122. Amazing Spider-Man. I forgot I ordered those two. Got giant size X-Men. Man, it's cold out there. Those are some cold comic books. X-Men 129, I think that's the first appearance of the Punisher, I believe. These are some key titles. There's George Perez, post-crisis Wonder Woman #1. It's pretty cool. Yeah, these are all in perfect condition. Well, hopefully they're supposed to be brand new. She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk #1. Sorry. Over here. And X-Men 101. So, how many is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all of 8 of these comics cost me, I think, with shipping, like $45. So not bad. Not bad at all, really. I mean, and bags and boards on all of them. Not bad considering, because they figure, you know, the Amazing This one was a $7 comic, just as is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8. What 8 into 45 is alright. 5 with shipping. It's a little bit. It's the hair over $5 a comic book with shipping and bag and board. I mean, you know, you go to the comic book shop, get a bag and board. What you're gonna spend like 50 cents, maybe not $1, but you're definitely gonna spend 50 cents. So you're already over 50 cents there from $4, $4.50. Yeah, I mean, you know, a little bit of shipping, not much, so pretty good deal, I think. So now, how does it fall in my collection here? I'm gonna kind of filter in my other collection. So we'll put the DCs in the back. Of course, got to put DC behind Marvel, right? So I've got the New Teen Titans and Wonder Woman. New Teen Titans #1, both George Perez comics. So we got those guys. So we'll put them in the bottom of the stack. Where are we going to go here? Probably Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine #1 will stick. And then we got what? Wolverine. And then we got the X-Men. So, the X-Men. So, I usually use the, and then I put the thes after it. So, I give them the Savage She-Hulk, the Spider-Woman, the Micronauts. So we'll do the X-Men. So we've got our newest issue would be 101. Then we have another X-Men issue here. I thought we did. Maybe not. 101, 129, 141, 142. So there's 4 X-Men comics there. Then we'll probably do what? She-Hulk's? Spider-Man. Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman. The Spider-Woman. The Savage She-Hulk. The Micronauts. Giant-sized X-Men. Guess we'll stick giant-sized X-Men in front of the X-Men just because it's kind of keep those together. Then we're looking at the Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, so newest issue would be 300, 129. Also, the first appearance of Punisher came after the death of Gwen Stacy, so put those on there. And then the last few I've got, I guess that would be technically A then, but like I said, I usually do them by the thes. So then we got Rom and Daredevil. So what's the total count now on the Facsimile books? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17, so about $100 worth of comics there. I would say probably 3 more comics and we would have $100 worth of facsimiles here. Pretty cool. We wanted to go to say 20 comics. I just flattened them out. Yeah, and the Secret Wars starts tomorrow. Sorry. Secret Wars starts tomorrow, and then also at the end of the month that Spider-Man, my Spider-Man's, the 1984, I think January issue of 1984, I think, the one with the Black Spider-Man on the cover, and then they're going to do a whole year, it's 12 issues of that, plus 12 issues of Secret Wars. I'm hoping they do a few more of these key titles, like, what else would be nice to see? Gang Wars would be great, Follow the Mutants would be great. Some of the limited series, like finishing off the Wolverine limited series would be nice if they did that. Maybe the Long Shot series, that would be a great series for them to do facsimiles of. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I keep saying I don't mind having these updated, new and improved versions of old classic comics on good paper, all perfect color, you know, no newsprinting, no offset color that's all goofy. Um, you know, I'm assuming they're all been redigitally colored to the that Marvel palette from the Dr. Martens, the ones I use for doing my comics. Um, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about these. I mean, they just look amazing. I mean, they look like comic books, and that's what I love. Is they look like comic books. Like I said, I don't think that comic books nowadays, despite if you love them or hate them as far as the stories and the art, they don't look like comic books. They look like, I don't know how to describe them. Mini movie posters or something, or you know, it's looking at the covers. I don't really like the covers of modern comics, but these classic comics, they look like comic books, and that's what I want. I want my comics to look like comics. So, you know, I mean, that's probably the newest. That's 88. Again, I mean, I really my comic book collecting back when I was young, in my teen years, started, well, tween years actually, started in 1984, 40 years ago to this year. You know, I was 11 years old, or I was about to turn 11 years old in July, so technically I think I was still 10 at the time. And, you know, and I kind of got out of it in 89. And 90, I mean, I had a few comics in 90. I started to get into more, DC started to kind of pick up in 90. And this is right about the time the Image thing started, just about to start. So, you know, and I said I was pretty heavily into playing hockey and sports cards with my dad and stuff, and you know, and then he ended up having the shop there. So, you know, I kind of was out by '89. I mean, for the most part, really. Like I said, that's why I'm not a big fan of the Jim Lee issues, because I was kind of out of it by then. And then, you know, after McFarlane left, you know, and he started doing his, you know, doing Spawn, and then Larson took over, and I wasn't a big fan of Larson. You know, then the X-Men, the Jim Lee X-Men #1 came out, the McFarlane, you know, Spider-Man #1, and then there was the X-Force. I mean, all that stuff. That's why I got out of comics. I didn't like them at that time. So these, for the most part, are all from, with the exception of a couple that are pretty old. I mean, this one I think would have been like 78 or 79, maybe. Is that probably the oldest comic, or maybe it was the death of... I gotta look it up. I'm not sure what year that is June 9th, issue 121 of Amazing Spider-Man. Is that still back in the 70s? I think it may be. I'll have to look that up. It probably says on the inside. I can open it at the moment. But other than that, I mean, this is exactly what I love to have. I love collected comics, you know, graphic novel collections, and I love the omnibuses, and I love like the essentials. But you know, one of the things that deterred me about going back and hunting down comic books was the price on some of them. I mean, obviously something like that's going to go for a pretty good arm and leg. So is that. But I wanted to. It's like, I mean, I wish they had like modern color to where they were the equivalent of, say, like a Marvel Masterworks, and had that kind of color and those kind of pages and that kind of quality. You know, buying the Marvel Masterworks can get pretty pricey. I mean, sure, they give you like maybe 10 comics in a collected work, and you can get them on Amazon for about $50. So it's about comparable to these, but it's so much fun to have them in the bags and boards and in a comic book box. You know, you can flip them through by each issue. It's just more fun. And again, with the Masterworks, they're great and all, but you don't get the advertisements, and you don't get all the other, you know, that's very, very nostalgic about that. I just did the nostalgia on the 1984 Christmas catalog, and you know, I love looking at that stuff, and a lot of that stuff is indicative of what's in these with the ads. it just kind of reminds you what was going on at the time. All those little subtle things that kind of just remind you of the times. I like having that. So yeah, I'm just flipping through these. They're just amazing looking, amazing Spider-Man. Shit, I know. Savage. I think I have Savage She-Hulk #1 down there, the original. I know I got Sensational #1 down there. I'm pretty sure I have Savage She-Hulk #1 down there somewhere in the old comics, which I guess I need to start taking those out of the bookshelves and start putting them. I'll probably just get some just regular white boxes for those and stack up some of the old comics, the original comics in those. But like I said, outside of ones with nice paper, like She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk, or Excalibur #1, all of the other ones I don't really care to have those. I would rather have these. So that's why I'm hoping they make a lot more of these. I mean, look at that. Two of my favorite comics. Right there. Another one of my favorite comics. Another one of my favorite comics. Favorite comic. I mean, it just keeps going and going. It's just very exciting to see all this stuff. I mean, look at that. You got, it's like I think what was it X-Men Giant Size #1, and then you got like 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. So hopefully they'll make that little jump there and make all those. I mean, I'd love if they do Giant Size X-Men through Inferno. Oh my God, that would just be, and have them all like this. I mean, like I said, I guess I can go into my, hopefully longer, but probably 30 more good years of my life going in, having all of that stuff. Just stuff that's just so treasured as a kid. This stuff, I can't gush more about it. I highly suggest you pick these up. I mean, if you're my age and you grew up with comics, and you jumped in right around the early 80s, of comic books, and with especially with Marvel, and you were there for, I think that might be the oldest comic. I know that's 78, so I think that might be the oldest comic. But yeah, if you're around my age, a little older, a little younger, and you jumped in with comics in the early 80s or into the 80s, and you kind of have a nostalgic spot for up till like the late 80s, maybe 90, 91, this is like the ultimate holy grail to have. At a fraction of the price of what these original. Like I said, I don't buy comics for investments. I learned that. I thought I was going to buy comics as an investment back in the 80s, and as my dad went through that whole spiel with the sports cards, and then into the 90s, and then when everything blew up, I learned right off the bat. It's just like, I think this is kind of crazy. I don't think the value's there on some of the stuff. And then I watched as comics grew in price to like astronomical prices after that. Like in the 2000s, like I remember distinctly sitting there in like 1985 looking at the Comics Buyer's Guide and saw Daredevil #1. Not that I was interested in getting Daredevil #1, but it looked like one of those older comics, #1s that you could actually sort of afford. It was $225 in 1985. I think a Daredevil #1 now goes for what, like 20 grand? It's like, that's a huge jump from $225 to 20 grand in less than 40 years. I think it is. And I don't know what it goes for today, but it's going to sit in a graded case, Mylar case or whatever, and it's never going to be read. It's never really going to see the light of day. But I'm not into that. That's not why I like comic books. I like comic books, well, mainly for me, I like comic books because of the art. I mean, the art is my #1 love of comic books. I would say art first, followed by the characters, and then the stories. I've always preferred the artwork over the stories. I always have. And just the look of these comics. I mean, you know, I mean, you can't compare an old or a new comic today to these. You know, I'm sure maybe, you know, things have come a long way with computer color. You know, these are computer color, recolored in computer, I'm assuming. But like I said, they color. I mean, I get a little more crazy with my comics, but I still use the same base flat colors as they do. So if I do Spider-Woman, I'm going to use that exact same red, that exact same yellow, that exact same blue, exact same kind of light blue, and maybe I'll do a fade. But then I'll go through and I'll make her look a little shiny and make her a little pop with some shading. Basically, what I do is I just take the base color and I lower the opacity down. I usually lower the opacity down to like 5%, so it's almost black, but it still has the red in it. And then I'll set the opacity on the whole flat layer, or the whole shade layer, at 40%. So it kind of brings that red down to like maybe like well, it would be at 40%, and then you drop it down. So it's, I can't remember. It's somewhere in between there. Because I do a double opacity. You know, I bring the opacity down in 2 different layers. So I mean, obviously, the smart thing would be to do is to just, you know, find that specific color and then use that. But I have a system to the way I do it. It might sound stupid and illogical, but I have a system that makes sense in my brain, so I use it. But that's what I do. And then I'll take a white, you know, or a highlight color, and I'll do the highlights, you know, make it look pop, make it shiny. But other than that, I mean, it's still the base. Like I do the graphic is pretty much spot on. I don't shade it or highlight it. I use the straight graphic. So, you know, for the logo type. So, you know, balloon words, same thing. Backgrounds, I don't get really crazy. I use a lot of gradients in my backgrounds just to give it some depth. Other than that, I pretty much draw just like these comic books. You know, and I kind of got off the rails a little bit, started to get a little modern, and you know, I think some people, my followers and stuff, and my clients and stuff, I think they kind of like, you know, they liked it, but they liked the classic stuff better, so I went back to the classic stuff. So, all right, I just want to make this quick video. I'm going to put these back in the box for now. Eventually, I'd love to have them on display somewhere, but you know, once I get enough this, I can sit there and just, you know, flicker through this. I mean, even if I just fill this box, you know, with, say, 150 comic books of these facsimiles, that's all I need. I can just sit there and just enjoy those 150 comic books over and over and over again. It's just like, as I said with the records, there's about 100, I'm at like about 80 records now-ish. It's like there's only about 150 records I care to have. And there's only about 150 comic books I care to have. So, you know, maybe a little bit more, but not much more of either. And I can enjoy those for pretty much the rest of my life. So, it is what it is, right? Again, I've got CBR files, the colorized CBR files of all this stuff, you know, for the whole runs. So, you know, if I do, I can put all this stuff in my tablet and read the wholes. But I just like to pull open the ones with the advertisements in it and really enjoy them like it's a classic comic back in the day. And even back in the day for me, I mean, even when I started, I mean, I don't think I ever had this actually. The original copy. I don't think I ever had an original copy of that. I don't think I had an original copy of this one. I did have this one. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting them all out of order now. I had an original copy of a lot of them, but not some of them. So now I do. You know, it's facsimile version, but I find it to be the superior version. So, all right, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, especially if I get more comics.